The last images of a woman missing with ties to Florida.
Because of your OCD?
Told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm.
Caught on police body cam. The timeline for COVID in kids under 12.
These are people who shouldn't have seen the inside of a hospital.
As the concerns of parents and teachers hang in the balance. Plus, why does Nicki Minaj
we offered a call
have the attention of the White House? These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Danelle Dukin.
And I'm Zitlali Solache. Today is Friday, September 17th, 2021.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
At the FDA today, the case for a third COVID shot could be getting a boost. That meeting scheduled for later in the day. Meanwhile, with more than half of Americans fully vaccinated, the CDC is seeing more infections in children.
And as the network's Alejandra Garcia reports, those under 12 years old are currently not eligible for a COVID shot.
The COVID-19 pandemic is far from over. 99% of Americans currently live in a county with a high level of COVID-19 infections.
We got to get the unvaccinated vaccinated in order to really change the course of the pandemic.
The U.S. is averaging 1,800 new COVID deaths every single day. Compared to 2 weeks ago, it's up 24%, according to Johns Hopkins University.
These are people who shouldn't have seen the inside of a hospital, and they're dying in our ICUs.
But the Delta variant is spreading across the nation. Georgia state epidemiologist says about 60% of all COVID outbreaks reported in the past 60 days are happening in K-12 schools. Millions of people in South Florida have gotten their COVID-19 shot in vaccination places like this, but for those under 12 years old, they're not eligible to get their COVID shot. Their parents are worried for advancements in vaccinations since the CDC is seeing more infections throughout children and the whole population.
I can tell you that 90+% of those that are hospitalized are not vaccinated.
Because of the nationwide Delta spread, COVID and vaccination rules are getting tighter as children under 12 years old are not yet eligible to get their COVID-19 shot. In response to kids not being eligible for their vaccine, a Maryland legislative panel ruled all 24 school districts must obey a new mask mandate starting this week, and in New York State child care and daycare centers, masks are now mandatory. For the South Florida Media Network, I'm Alejandra Garcia.
Police just released body cam footage showing a 22-year-old woman just a month before her disappearance during a cross-country road trip. The network's Christopher Gomez has more from the control center.
New details coming in the search for missing Gabby Petito. Police in Utah say they were called after an altercation between Gabby and her fiance.
What I need from everybody here is help.
A family begging for answers after a cross-country road trip ends in a mystery. Newly released body camera video now raising even more questions. 22-year-old Gabrielle Gabby Petito from Blue Point, New York, missing for weeks. But local police found Petito's van and her fiance Brian at the home they shared with his family in Florida. He returned there without her on September 1st.
I got a quick question for you, Ryan. Sure.
On August 12th, police in Moab City, Utah were called to a possible disorderly conduct situation captured in this body camera video. According to the police report, they encountered the couple engaged in some sort of altercation.
We've been fighting all morning.
At the officer's suggestion, the two separated for the night. One of the officers concluding the situation was the result of a mental health crisis. No charges were filed.
Yes, they had a disturbance. Yes, it was captured on body camera, their interaction with law enforcement. But beyond that, I don't know what it has to do with the disappearance.
Northport, Florida police say they've talked to the attorney for Petito's fiance, but Laundrie is not talking, and many questions remain.
2 people went on a trip, 1 person returned, and that person that returned isn't providing us any information.
In a statement Tuesday, a lawyer for the Laundrie family say they are remaining in the background at this juncture and will have no further comment. Petito's parents said they last heard from her on August 30th. Meanwhile, the search continues for a vibrant young woman excited to be living life in a van. In the control center, Christopher Gomez, South Florida Media Network.
A drone strike killing the terrorist leader responsible for the death of a Miami Gardens man and 3 other U.S. soldiers. During a conflict in Mali, French military forces have confirmed the death of Adnan Abu Walid al-Sawari, who was killed during a drone strike by French forces last month. Back in 2017, the terrorist leader killed 4 Americans, including local Army Sergeant LaDavid Johnson.
A Trump ally from Fort Lauderdale served with a lawsuit filed by Capitol Police officers during a live radio appearance. Roger Stone was appearing on a conservative radio show Wednesday when he was interrupted by the lawsuit's process server. The suit filed last month accuses Stone of disseminating false claims of election fraud that led to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Stone says that he never urged anyone to hurt anyone else, including on January 6th.
Exiled Venezuelan opposition leader and activist Leopoldo Lopez asks for the U.S.'s help to fight Maduro. Leopoldo Lopez, who spent more than 3 years in prison followed by house arrest for speaking out against Nicolas Maduro, is asking for international help with what's happening in what once was one of Latin America's wealthiest nations.
And I think it's very important for the United States public opinion, the people of the United States, to understand that this fight for freedom requires an international engagement, and particularly the commitment of the United States, because we are not only fighting Maduro.
The opposition activist, who is featured in the new documentary A la Calle, says the erosion of democracy is a global problem demanding the attention of the U.S.
Airports and public buildings ramping up security in anticipation of a right-wing protest.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
We offered a call with Nicki Minaj and one of our doctors.
After missing the Met Gala because of her vaccination status, Nicki Minaj is getting some personalized attention from the White House. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
COVID-19 has changed how we stomp the yard and feel the beat. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I get it? Is it free? It's okay to have questions. Now get the facts about COVID-19 vaccines at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your fam.
Vaccine hesitancy, a tweet from Nicki Minaj about the Met Gala getting the attention of those in the White House.
Nicki Minaj skipped this year's Met Gala because of its pandemic policies.
And just yesterday during a news conference, the White House offered to help the rapper understand facts on the COVID-19 vaccine. This Monday, Minaj tweeted that she is not vaccinated, which was one of the requirements for the Met Gala. In the tweet, she shared her reasoning behind the decision.
We offered a call with Nicki Minaj and one of our doctors to answer questions she had about the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. This is pretty standard and something we do all the time.
Press Secretary Jen Psaki then offered to have a conversation as many have skepticism about the vaccine.
And we end the week with a programming note. If you were to look out at the Capitol building in D.C. this morning, you'd see extra fencing because of a protest that is scheduled for tomorrow. The protesters are supporters of the men and women who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. SFMN's D.C. Bureau correspondent Fabian Osorio will be there for the demonstration and will have a full wrap-up Monday morning.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache.
And I'm Danelle Dukin. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.